We're rolling. Welcome, everybody. Happy hour, Misfit happy hour. Today, we're mixing it up. I am your host today, Ronchero, Ron Friedman, on the sunny west coast of California. Our man, Sang Lucci, down in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And we're
How's it
going to
going?
shoot some shit today. I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, good, very
What,
good, very
what
good.
did you hit? What did you hit today? What was working for you today?
I didn't hit anything. Actually, I hit some shorts off the open, specifically a Bank of America short, and then I caught like a little bit of the squeeze, but mostly I was just kind of hedging my short positions during the squeeze, buying some more GME calls and all this kind of stuff. So, I ended up doing okay on the hedges. So I ended up flat, a little bit up, and that's about it. That's about it.
Okay. All right. I was trading SPY. We were live in my room this morning. I woke up late. I don't know how I slept through an alarm, but I did. So I was like, fuck it, we'll do it live, do the Bill O'Reilly thing.
Yeah.
And we were waiting for reaction off of the CPI number, which we got. I was looking for continuation of down, but they stole it from us on that gap.
Yeah, yeah, they
And
stole it, and that candle was insane,
yeah,
man. It was like 100 handles like that.
yep,
You
very
know, and
fast.
the same shit happened in crypto. So I'm looking at my crypto stuff, and as I was walking in the office, I'm like, I should probably take this. This is probably a gift, and of course we squeezed it back. These gaps are these gaps make things pretty tricky, man.
So when
Overall,
you see a gap like that, my initial reaction is I can't take size. And of course, you and I are looking at very similar things as far as indications or numbers are concerned. I was looking at some HFT stuff that
yep,
didn't give me an opportunity to grab size. Like I wanted size to the
yeah,
downside, and I never got the opportunity. I wound up walking away from the day break even. The
yeah.
only thing that saved me was the release of that beige book number, and I scalped a put, and that's all I got.
It's
That's all
it's
I got.
not brown. It's not cream. It's somewhere in between. I still don't even know what the hell that shit is. I really don't even know what the hell that shit is. I don't even know what half of these numbers are, but I have a feeling like now in this illiquid ass market, or illiquid when they want it to be, they'll just pull liquidity, news will hit, and we'll just disappear into a vacuum for a little bit, for as long as as long as they deem necessary, and then the juice will disappear right after that. You know what
I
I mean?
agree. Yep.
It'll just disappear. Just like
Um,
the market makers on the bids and offers when these programs hit. Like shit will just disappear, man. It's wild.
yeah, and that's the thing that frustrates me with that. So, I don't know, for those of you who keep track, I'm not a big economic data head guy.
Uh
I just like
yeah,
to
neither am
know
I.
when shit is being released. So many people I think spend so much time trying to figure out, okay, if the number is this, the market should do this. I think that, in my opinion, that is a fool's errand and brain cells that I'm never going to recover from. Like I don't know how people do that. I don't get it.
Yeah. I have no idea as well. I started to pay more attention to it now because of the market conditions that we're in. I think you and I have both started to pay more attention to it forcingly, because that's just how we're moving. I mean, look at this week alone. Like they came out and said, "Yo, this inflation's gonna be worse." You know, so you get all the positioning before that shit. You get fake reports that are being thrown out there. Then you get the number that comes out, the wildest program, and it's like the perfect setup to just bang on everybody. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Steve said something really interesting in today. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna pull this shit up," but I thought it was fucking genius, and I thought like, well, not genius per se, but it's only something that somebody would understand that knows about structure of the markets and how markets work. Like this guy's been in the game for fucking decades, man. You know what I mean? He's seen it work from so many different places.
Yep.
So when was it the news that had come out? Was it 10 o'clock? Was it 10 o'clock? And then there was
You're talking about CPI. CPI was at 8:30 Eastern.
No, it was after. Okay, it was after the beige book. So look at this. He
Oh,
writes in his
after
journal,
beige.
and
Yeah.
again, this is you'll get access to his journal if you're a part of HFT Alert. But this gentleman that we're talking about, his name is Steve Hammer. He runs a service called HFT Alert that the Sang Lucci crew is actively using and exploring and all that kind of stuff. Steve's a great guy. We love him. He said, "Ever wonder how the market can react so quickly to printed information that requires time to both read and interpret," right? The assumption
Yeah.
here is that you get a report. I have to read this shit to
Yep.
know what the fuck is being said. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And then he says, why do the exchanges for the SEC, or the SEC for that matter, promote machine readable reports? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and he knows that exchanges promote this. Why? Because their biggest clients are who moves, most of the volume. Who is most of the volume? We're talking about high frequency traders, active program traders,
Yep.
and these are fed, those programs are fed by machine readable reports where it scans the shit in a fucking fraction of a second, and then based on what it reads, it's already smart enough to know what to do. You know what I'm saying? It's already smart enough to know what to do, and it does it in a second.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
we all just sit there like, oh shit. You know what I mean? We're all just sitting there like, this is what we live for.
I
And
knew
this
that
is
was
what
going to happen. I called it. I told you that would happen.
and this is what happens. Like, this is really how the market works. So I
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious. I read that shit and I'm like, I fucking love this guy. You know. So
It
yeah.
is it is so much easier. One of the reasons I like talking to you, I feel like we're really similar in a lot of ways. We trade very differently most of the time, but aligned thought wise a lot of the times. And when we see stuff like this, I think we just have like that level of experience where we look at it and say, all right, they're going to do this, and then we're going to get the opposite of
Definitely.
that move. It's like you were talking about last night. I was talking about that with some of the traders in the room this morning. You're looking for down, we're hoping for down, we're trading for down. You get some part of the move, they come and test it a second time, and then they just tear the lid off of
And
it and
they
go fill the
tear it.
gap,
Yeah,
right?
and they
Like,
tear the lid off of it, man.
yep.
And even though, like today, even I look over at Matt. I look over at Matt. Matt is an employee of Sang Lucci. He came here to the office. He's here for like a year. Young kid. Matt, how old are you? Write in the chat. How old are you? I
He's
think
like he's 12. I think he's
he's
12.
in my head. He's like 21. Like, he can't be older than 21, but he's 26,
He's
right? So the
26.
dude is 26, but he looks like he looks like he's 17 and a half. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to Matt, it's just jokes here. And I smoked before I did this shit, man. So I gotta talk shit. Um, so anyways, I say to Matt, I was like, bro, we could go back to, we could go to green here, and that was at the lows. Because it, you feel it. Somewhere in the pit of your stomach, you feel it, right?
Yep.
And you throw it out there, and depending on how strong your bias is, you either listen to it or you don't. Most people, when you see something like we did this morning, you don't even believe it doesn't even occur to you in those moments because of how much excitement those programs do to us emotionally. Most people just sit with that bias. That bias sets in, and from that point on, it could be the end of the day, man. We're talking about 12 hours, they still can't change their bias,
Yep.
and it happens to me. It has happened to me. It's happened to all of us.
That was definitely me today. I was definitely looking for short, and I wanted to get heavy, which is why my bias stayed there, because I wanted a big day.
I wanted a big day
And
too.
I wasn't going to get it, so I was small, right? It was like, all right, fine. And that whole moved up like that. I was telling the guys in my room this morning, I was like, if you want to contra trend trade me, you can. This is not a bad spot to do it. I don't know if anybody caught it, but my whole thing was, I'm still negative. I'm still looking for downside. So I'm going to watch this entire run up. And instead of banking 50 grand, I'm just going to watch the whole move. And then I'm going to look for some dinky fucking short off of the gap fill. And that's the rub of being a trader, right?
And it could have been that big day that you wanted.
Exactly.
It could have been that big day that you wanted, because
Yep.
the game was there. You read it. I read it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But that's the difference we're talking about here, guys. And remember, like Ranchero's only able to do it because it's like you've been in the game that long. Like you can see it. You can see it. Even though if we don't act on it, you can see it. You can feel it, and then you're open enough to allow yourself to see the other side of the trade and thus accordingly not put your ass out there that aggressively and save yourself if and when it does happen. That's also another skill set that only comes, I believe, with experience.
I think that's true. I think that's true. Hey, you were talking later in the day about looking at some commodities, wheat, and
Yeah.
then we threw
Yeah.
around nat gas and fertilizers. Like, tell me what your thought is with that? What are you looking at?
I mean, honestly, somebody just plants seeds, man. You know us, like guys like us, we're in many conversations. I end up in many conversations. It could be about anything. Simply because I'm bored. I like to hear myself talk. So I just get into conversations, right? And you'll talk to business guys, you talk to all kinds of people in all walks of life. And the things that they say are intriguing. There was a community here, there was a couple people living in a town here in Puerto Rico talking about suspicious activity close to one of the main rivers, and like nobody really owns that property. The speculation is that it's like Nestle or some other large company that is extracting natural water to save it for eventual water crises and things like that, right? And again, you'll just hear these conversations. That's a conversation I heard the other day. And what do I do with that information? I sit there. Obviously, I think about it. I think about how usually fucked up it is. But then the other side of us, what we think about Ranchero is how do we make money off of it?
Right. That's the point, right? Where are we going to make money?
Where am I going to make money? Because that's just how we're wired to think. So one of my guys hits me up who has done, a lot of work in the Middle East for security and things like that. He gives me just an idea on food shortages and things like that. So again, if it is the narrative, like for example, right now, what's the narrative that is moving the markets? Inflation, right? And it's
Yes.
actually moving the fucking market. It's not just some idea out there in whatever. Actual readings on inflation move the markets, right? So if the narrative 6 months from now, 9 months from now, or whatever, is agriculture or farming or whatever the hell it is, and that's what we're paying attention to, and those are the readings and the data that's moving the market, I want to be ready for these things. So I'll just fish for information. So that's kind of what that conversation is about. And for everybody here, it was basically, how is this market going to trade if there's really food shortages in certain parts of the world? Who's going to go down first, aka who has the worst supply chains? You know, and it was like, okay, what's the cost of these commodities going to be? So those were some of the questions that I was asking.
So that brings up a good point too. And it's interesting, especially on the chat in your master course room with everybody who's new and returning that's in there. When you pose a question like that or throw an idea out there like that, that community throws out a ton of
Ton of information.
ideas and a ton of information, right?
Ton
And
of information.
ultimately, what's funny about all of it, and I was giving a couple of guys in there a hard time. Ultimately, it's like, well, to me, I don't need to know because I'm a trader, and it sounds callous, but it's true. Because I'm a trader, I don't need to know jack shit
Yeah.
about the
It sounds
companies
it
or
sounds insensitive
it
almost.
does, but the reality is, it's just like, all right, do I have an opportunity here, right? Like somebody's posting in here right now, MOS looks good, trying to reverse, right? Like, okay, yeah, so CF looks good too, right? Like on a
Yeah.
technical setup, like that's not a bad looking type of setup. And then
Right.
somebody posted, I don't know enough about the companies. And my
Right.
point was like, hey, don't let your investor thought conflict with your trader thought, because those two are going to fight and you're going to wind up losing because those two don't get along, right?
I mean, I've never met somebody who's been. I really don't think. Okay, maybe a handful of people, maybe one or two, that could juggle both and make both work at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like I've never met one that actually wasn't one or the other. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
either meet the one or you meet the other.
Yep.
You very infrequently do you meet the one, in the middle. Not to say there aren't any. And the ones that are, by the way, were a couple of cannabis guys who, because that market is so competitive, and eventually you could even say they're going to be run by like pricing algos and things like that.
Mhm.
Like those were the guys that actively traded the stocks, actively knew shit about IPOs coming out, actively knew all of this stuff because the industry was so fruitful with IPOs, publicly traded companies, and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't like a private sector,
Yeah.
So these guys they'd hit big, bro. When they'd hit big
Yeah.
because
Yep.
they knew shit about the industry that most people didn't know. It was public if you knew how to get it. So it's not like they're trading on inside information, even though it kind of, it kind of is for a lot of companies that they've made bets in that became huge. You know, they did really well on. You could say the same thing for some crypto guys.
I mean, I kind of look at from a big picture standpoint. This is an investor brain thought, not a trader thought. I look at the current environment and what I would like to see happen, what I think will happen. I kind of am aligned with Jesus on this. Is that we continue to drift lower until we find some areas that are gonna provide some area of support, some buffeting. So I'm ignoring like that investor thought that you have of, I feel like that ship already left port, no pun intended with the wheat. It's like, well, I think I'm late to that trade. Where is my
Uh-huh.
better opportunity? I'm looking at like mega cap tech and some of this other stuff. And I'm thinking when and if we can finally find this area where we're going to bottom out, technicals catch up, insiders start buying their own companies back, you start to see all this stuff, then I think there's going to be an opportunity for, maybe 2, 3, 5 years of nice recovery. And if you're positioning yourself properly there are millions of dollars to be made there.
Hmm.
Millions.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So that doesn't align with the trader thought. The trader thought looks at it right now and thinks, SPY 350, let's go. Let's get there. I don't know if your brain's there yet or not, but that's where my brain is.
That's where my brain is. But the level, their ability to push our emotions to the point at which we believe that is happening now
Yeah.
and get us to pay up and get us to, you know what I mean? It's impressive. It's pretty impressive, bro.
How are you looking at the next couple of days with the econ? I'm just looking for reaction, but my thought is
Yeah.
that reaction is going to be negative. That's my bias at this point. Where are you at?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you'll get a lot of similar action to today.
Oh man.
Programs lower, and bullshit and bullshit, bullshit during the day. But overall lower. You know what I mean? But again,
Yep.
that bullshit, especially if you're an options trader, and remember, if you're an options trader who trades freaking weeklies, at this point, even monthlies, because those are moving as crazy as everything else, um, you know, it's tough to pick your spots here, man.
It
And
is
it's
tough
tough
to
to,
pick
and it's
spots.
also tough to stay short. If you have a swing short, right, and you try to go for a swing on a short to, 350 on SPY, I'm not saying you can't hold it. I'm saying you better not look at your P&L until,
You can't
you
listen. You can't look at
yeah,
that position.
you
I and
can't
I
look at it. You
you
can't look at
can't.
it.
I have that position. The
Of course.
difference is that I've been playing it since earlier. I just continue to roll it down. I kept rolling
Right.
down into that last area
Right.
in mid-June. And then on this, move back up. Now all of a sudden they've got us caught in this chop range, right?
Right.
So I'm still thinking and leaning negative. I've adjusted. I'm now in an August 370 put. And if by Friday, if I need to readjust that, I will, but I'm not giving up that position because big picture wise, my opinion, I just don't see this stopping until
Yeah,
we get at least to that 350 area. And I'm putting my money where my mouth is
dude.
on that position.
Dude, we all are, man. It's exciting. It's exciting because people are going to talk about this moment for a decade at least to come. Like, oh, you remember 10 years ago when we really crashed after COVID stopped? Like, you know, and you'll think back to this moment and be like, damn, man,
Do you know how
should have bought some
popular in
shit.
Starbucks I'm going to be in 10 years?
Oh man. Oh man. By that time, man, Starbucks is gone and replaced with some other fucking chain. But yeah, man, it's exciting. It is exciting. And now that we're on that topic, what are you gonna buy?
So I want, and I don't make it a secret. What I want is to do the least amount of work when it comes to research and valuation of companies from a fundamental standpoint, and combine that with technicals to say this is an area I'm interested in getting long term. So what can I be lazy on that other people have done enough research on? Nvidia is one.
Right.
Microsoft is one, right? I really don't need much more than just those couple of names if I can catch those in the right spots or in the right areas, and then start looking at those from a longer term perspective, right? Everything else that happens in here is noise until we have a combination of those specific things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And when and if we get them
Yeah.
is where I'll start getting into those, right?
Yeah. What about crypto? Did you open up a wallet yet? I bet you don't even have a
No,
MetaMask
I
wallet. You don't
don't.
even have the shit. You don't got the shit. This
I
guy.
don't. I'm I'm a freaking boomer, right? I'm not technically a boomer, but y'all call me boomer, so I'm a boomer, right? So I don't have a crypto wallet. I'm still waiting on you to teach me how to use this shit.
I
and,
think
and then I'll look.
have you traded any of the crypto related like ETFs or stocks and shit like the Mara, the Riot? Have you traded any ETFs? You haven't even
No,
traded an ETF.
no. The only thing I've traded coin related literally is coin. That's the only thing that I've traded related to crypto. That's it.
Oh, crypto.
I know. I
Oh,
know.
crypto. No,
It's
I'm
not
not. I'm
because
not saying it like that. I'm saying it like, oh, crypto. Like, there's so much shit happening in crypto right now that you wouldn't. You see, that's how far separated you are. But if you heard what was happening, Matt, see if you can get some fucking articles about Three Arrows Capital. Get some articles about fucking the exchanges that almost went down. All the ones that had debt linked to Three Arrows. Fucking, I don't know, man. Dude, if you saw the amount of just money lost in recent times, lawsuits and piling debt, over levered debt, companies talking about large amounts of money just being thrown. Um, it's wild, Ronchero. You would love it. You would honestly love it. You would look at it and be like, "Holy shit! This
there's
is this is
there's a lot of herbs to pick off in there.
This is insane, man. This is insane. Today, dude, I shorted this fucking burger coin. I've been short this thing for like a week now. And the coin exploded because first of all, it was a swap protocol. Matt, where the fuck are you, bro? I'm actually going to share a screen now. Let's just do this. All
Matt, I
right.
hope you're enjoying your internship, bro.
Fucking Matt. And again, like he's not an intern. He's
No, I know he's not. I'm just giving him a hard time.
hold on, Matt. I'm just giving you shit. What was the other one? Burger Swap. Okay, so Burger Swap. Okay, look at this bullshit. This was a fucking DeFi protocol that was basically offering out like stupid interest rates, right? So you buy Burger Coin, you enter it in said protocol, and you get a sort of ridiculous interest rates, shit like that. Now they come out with this game though. Okay, it's called Burger Cities. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this shit. I mean, look at the graphics, bro.
How much is it going to cost you to click start game? How many
Okay.
burgers?
Anyways, so they come out with this fucking token here. Let's pull this shit up. And again, like you have to buy, it's connected to some other game. You have to buy an NFT in order to play the game, and then you get paid back in, said fucking coin or whatever the hell it is, right? And this was one of my biggest shorts of the year, was in GMT. It was a sneaker app that you pay for an NFT sneaker and then they pay you in the coin, right? And one of my biggest shorts and biggest freaking moves was that particular coin. This burger is more or less exactly like that shit, bro.
Oh,
And look
look
at
at
it in the
that.
last 30 days.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I see a
So
tulip market.
So again, here's the thing: you never know how high it's gonna go, right? It might go to
Right.
4. It might go to fucking 5. It might whatever, you know. In which case, I'm just gonna keep adding. I'm gonna keep adding. I'm gonna keep adding. I'm gonna keep adding. Um, but that's the level of shit that's going on here, And Three Arrows Capital, just so you know, and the rest of you guys look at it, you know. We're talking about $1 billion fund,
Jesus
Ronchero.
assets.
We're talking about this was $1 billion fund, bro.
Was.
Was they got over levered in the collateralized loans, in so many people were loaning out cash to them, large brokerages, exchanges, man, or just people in the game, like well-known people in the crypto game. They had 100 million out in loans to these guys, and boom, everything got called back, and they got smoked in the sell-off, basically.
So even though his little quote here, where there's a lot of despair, you can start buying. This dude got smoked out, right?
Oh yeah, these guys got smoked out.
Okay.
But FTX came in and we're like, dude, we're gonna backstop a lot of this stuff down here at these prices. Goldman
Okay.
Sachs even said it. Goldman Sachs even said, we're creating this new fund and we're going to put $2 billion in it. And we're just going to, and the whole strategy, the PPM or whatever, all it said was, when X, Y, and Z, exchanges get liquidated off of any major liquidations, we're buyers of your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Goldman never said, "Hey, we're gonna save you guys," like
Yep.
FTX did, right? This guy was like, "Dude, we'll save you guys. We'll give you a loan or whatever, whatever." Goldman is like, "Nah, fuck that. When you die, then I want your assets. You know what I mean? And I want your assets. I'm taking your assets."
We'll buy your urn and your ashes inside of it. We'll give you 10 cents.
So, dude, that's what's going on over here, man. It's fucking wild. The news cycle here, oh my God. You'd love it, bro. You'd love
See,
it. That's it. You turn into a comedian.
when I see this stuff, when I listen to Spencer and talk about, I'm worried about him because he's not getting any sleep. The dude's going to be a fucking walking zombie. He's reading white papers to fucking talk about this shit, like what happened to a fucking shoe and like how there's a game and how that like the trail. It seems like to me, maybe I'm making it a lot harder than it is. The trail that you have to follow
Yeah.
seems like it makes it difficult. All I
Nah.
want to do is look at this and say,
Nah.
this is
I'm
dumb.
gonna get. You know
This
what I'm
is
gonna
dumb.
do?
Let's short it.
You know what I'm gonna do for him? Like, I'm gonna give you 20 of like the top main volume traded coins, and you're gonna see they look like everything else we're trading right now, right? They look like Pinterest, bro. They look like fucking Peloton, man.
So you're just shorting everything, is what you're
I
telling
mean,
me.
it's more complicated than that. You see what's going on in equities, and this is why I'm telling you, you have to. What's going on in equities is exactly what's going on in Bitcoin, bro. You look at a chart of Bitcoin, it looks the same, bro. It's
Yeah.
just different ranges, man.
Yep.
So everybody's on the same game. All the same market makers are in the same world. This shit it's the same, Ranchero. It's just I don't know, easier, more access to trading something or a news cycle. I don't know what it is, but
I might be too comfortable. Like, I mean, it's
yeah, you might be too
exciting,
comfortable.
right?
But here's
Because
the thing: if you're making money, guys, if you're a man that makes money, you're never gonna think anything's fucking wrong here or you need to do anything else. You know what I mean? You're good. You're good. So hats off to Ronchero. We know he's making money.
if I take this hat off, it'll blind everybody. So if it
You
is like
arrogant motherfucker.
no, it's gonna be bald as fuck. You at least your dome is brown, bro. Mine gives off all the glare.
But you know what? I got the light above me right here.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
you
So
you get you need to get you a lid, a
that might be
beanie or
helping me.
something.
Listen, I need a skincare routine or something, man, because Puerto Rico sun is killing me, bro. And I'm telling you, I'm putting the shit on, I'm lathering it on now, you know. But then I'll forget. I'll sometimes be out on the beach for like 8 hours playing beach tennis, and you'll fucking forget, bro. And then you'll go back home, and your head is 9 times darker than the rest of your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
I don't know what you mean because mine just goes like brand new baby gerbil pink, bro. Mine doesn't go dark. And then people are like, "You're gonna get skin cancer, bro. Get a hat on. What's wrong with you?"
so listen, feels free at for some okay, for the brown people in here, drop me some kind of a skincare routine, man.
There
I'm
you go.
fucking dying out here. Dude, do you know how much I'm paying for sunscreen, man? Like good sunscreen?
No, do you have to have reef safe sunscreen down there? Are they big on that in Puerto Rico or no?
I've never seen it per se,
Okay.
but we're talking like $15, $20 a can, man,
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
you know? But I don't know what it is in the States, man. What is it in the States when you buy a can of sunscreen?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. Like I need sunscreen. I buy sunscreen.
Well, how many times do you go to the beach? You barely go to the
Um,
beach, right? You're in San Fran?
yeah, I mean, well, the beach is 20 minutes. I don't go to here. Let me tell you why I don't go to the beach here. Because by the time I'm ready to go to the beach, everybody else is wanting to go to the beach. And when you get there,
Yeah.
this is Northern California. It's not SoCal. It's not LA,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're going for the water and you're getting on the water, you're going for a dawn patrol. You're going out with your board,
Yeah.
and it's great. You can't see your feet when you get in the water. I don't like that. You're paddling out, and then you're in a lineup, and it's cold, and you're looking to catch a few rides and then go home. So I don't just go to the beach and play that beach racquetball or that beach tennis that you guys go play. It's too freaking the weather sucks for that. We don't get great days for that. June gloom is the rule of thumb here. We don't get happy days down on the beach like you guys get.
Yeah. Interesting. So you don't even care about sunscreen, bro. Shit, man.
I
Dude,
mean, when I go when I go out, like I wear a rash guard. Because I don't like putting on a ton of sunscreen. I'll put sunscreen
got you.
on my face, but a rash guard, and
Yeah.
I'm always wearing a hat, right? Even
Yep.
when I'm in the water paddling, I've got a
Dude,
hat on.
I
If I
had to
lose the
figure
hat,
that
I
out.
lose the hat, but I
I
always
figured
have
that
a
I
hat
had to
on.
figure that out the hard way, man. And then my barber, right? Because he what do you call it? He bicks the head, the scalp, more or less, right? So he's like doing his thing, and he's like, bro, you need to start wearing hats, man. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna pull off your whole skin and look at your brain, look at your skull. So he's saying like it's affecting, this shit up here, man. Anyways, I'm sorry to go into that fucking diatribe about sunscreen, but
No, that was a good diatribe. Those are important life things that we
dude,
have to deal with in
dude,
order to keep our trading on
you
point.
know what the fucked up part is? Brown people didn't even realize, like, brown people don't even realize that they need sunscreen until they get older. You know what I mean? Like, I always, as a kid, I was just like, I went out in the sun and nothing would ever happen to me. You know what I mean? But over
Mhm.
time, your skin cells fucking deteriorate, man. They fucking deteriorate. And you're like, holy shit, maybe I got to start taking care of myself. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's really it.
Hey, I've got an off topic question for you. How in the hell did you come up with the nickname Sang Lucci? What the fuck is a Sang Lucci?
Oh, damn, man. This one goes back. Anyways, my last name is Sungvi. And so it was half of my last name. And then there was a song called Camp Low. It was called Lucchini. Um, Matt, see if you can. Well, fucking, I'll just do it right here. It's a fucking Matt. It was called Lucchini, right? And they would just say this line. This was like one of my favorite songs growing up. And I just took the Lucci out off the Lucchini, and it kind of signified money or whatever, and that's where it came from.
Oh, Lucci's a money thing?
Yeah, it's a money thing. It's a money
Okay.
reference. You know,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay.
At
Did you
least to At least to money in the 90s, like hip hop in the 90s, and then you would even have like rappers that would call themselves like Lucci because it was a reference to money.
Oh,
Yeah.
now
I
I
don't
get
know if it
it.
was an
Okay.
Italian thing or something like that. Somebody, people tell me it's Italian. I have no idea. I
Were
don't know.
you in were you in New York when you got that nickname? Were you in Boston when you
I
got
was
that
in I
nickname?
was in Boston, but again, I didn't get it. Like I made it. You know what I mean? Most people get nicknames passed to them from their
You
friends or
coined
whatever.
yourself?
Yeah, I made it. You know what I mean? I made it, and then I started posting as that guy, and I did it because there was only a group, and we're gonna do like history of like educators and like financial content providers or whatever. Like I was one of the first of like maybe 7 to 10 financial bloggers, okay, that it would do consistent shit on Blogger or Blogspot or whatever. Everybody had Blogspot before there was, you could buy your own shit or whatever. Like everybody just used Blogspot, and then boom, you would just post and do shit like that. And we shared our P&Ls. I remember I shared my P&L with Sykes way back in the day, way back in the day. And he got the idea from Covester, essentially from that one group that we were all in. Everybody was in that one group sharing their fucking P&Ls. You would get some prop guys in there, and then you would get all the people that start selling education and things like that, or at least some of them. And I needed a name for myself, of course. So that was like that was like one of the first things I thought of. So then I started writing, and I had some good pen game, man. I feel like I lost it over the years. I can't get motivation, Ronchero, to write something anymore. Like I can't do it. Before I used to write articles every day, man. 2, 3 articles every day. That's how Sang Lucci was born. That's how it got to where it is. It was just me writing, bro.
Two to
Me
three a
writing
day, 2 or 3 a day plus trading.
plus trading. You know what I mean? Plus
That's a
trading.
lot.
You know, and I would do this all day, every day at an office in Boston. And it's wild, man, how much focus I had during those times, and how much focus I don't have today.
when 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 you when you find like the lever that you can pull,
Fuck,
you don't want to go that deep sometimes. I think
fuck,
that that's true.
fuck. Those sometimes where you just start getting the results that you've been looking for, you get addicted to them.
Yes.
Those kinds of things. Let's take some questions here. All seriousness, are you guys seeing the RS? What is RS? Is he saying relative strength to us right now? Oh my God. In
Maybe.
healthcare and biotech. Sure. Relative strength is recoined as relative shit in healthcare and biotech. It's probably going down, bro.
Somebody asked a question about why I'm picking 350 and everybody's picking 350 and that's
Dude, a lot
why
of people have
it won't
asked you
work.
that. Yeah.
So let me share the screen here and let me show you
Do it.
hang on one second. Let me do this and I'll share this one. All right, is that up? You see that?
Yep, I got it.
All right. So here's how my brain works, right? I look for levels. I never call bottoms, I never call tops. I look for areas, right? So what am I basing this off of? This is based off of some simple stuff, right? This is based off of a Fibonacci. What do? I look at the big picture. So
Yep.
that's a weekly, right? So here's the bottom, the COVID bottom. Here's the most recent top. I throw a fib on it and I look for the retracement areas. 0.382 is a natural retracement. And what's the next one? 0.5. So that's 350, right? And then if I look left, I see some areas. So that's what I'm looking for. It's not any more complicated than that. There's no smoke and mirrors. I'm not, killing chickens over here and rolling bones and stuff like that. Like it's just common sense. Like this is an area I'm looking for. And why do I think it'll keep getting pressed down there? Well, look at your technicals. I get that technicals are a rear view look at what has happened. But when this stuff, the 200-day moving average, your year to date VWAPs, and the 50-day moving average are all above and curling down, why am I trying to pick a place where this shit's going to go up? Does that make any fucking sense? Are you going to get moves up? Yeah. Are they going to be sustainable? I doubt it.
Right.
Now, and for the last 10 years,
Right.
everybody's just bought the dip. And yeah, I'm old. I've been here for a while. I've seen this type of a market before. You're in an interest rate rising environment. Trying to pick a bottom and call a bottom is a fool's errand. So that's why I've got 350 as my number. So that's the number I got.
Right. Now, how we get there is obviously a completely different story. All right, Ronch.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that this data that continues to come out is what continues to give us that opportunity, right? Or chop opportunity. You're trading sideways here. It's waiting for some kind of catalyst. It's waiting for some kind of news. If you do anything other than outside of this range, at least for right now, you're just asking for trouble. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's you don't need more common sense than that, in my opinion. Let me get rid of the screen share.
Horny Mas Horny said, "What's common sense?"
I just showed you what common sense was. If you can't figure that out, I can't help you. All right, where's the stop share? Damn it. See, this is my boomer.
Any prudence to the fact we aren't breaking recent lows, even with all the negative headlines hitting the market? I mean, it's something that we're all thinking about. We're all thinking about the same damn thing. It's not just you. It is not just you. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting, yeah, but maybe it's all part of the game, and maybe there's a shoe that hasn't dropped yet. I don't know, man. But there's a time to short, and there's a time to fucking get out of the way and let shorts get hammered.
Yeah, that will happen eventually, right? The question is, is it permanent? I don't see in this environment, how can it be permanent? Inflation is at its all-time highs. Like, people are bailing out of buying houses. Mortgage applications are down. There's a war in Russia. Lucci, you and I are sitting here talking about famine in the Middle East because there's not enough wheat to go around because of that, because of the war. And then we're talking about, well, where's that going to come from? Fertilizer production. Well, you need natural gas to make fertilizer. Like, it's this whole sequence of pop-up, push down events, and there's nothing yet that says everything is fine and we're resuming our normal move back to the upside. And I think people don't look at that and see it clearly.
Indeed.
I don't think it's any more complicated than that. I mean, I love it when Katie gets on here and has all of these different thoughts and how it's tied to the yen and some dude in the Congo like falling down and hitting his head. But I don't have the brain power to make that shit work, right? I trade what I see.
Indeed.
That's
all right.
it.
Let's say we call it a day, man.
You done?
Yes, I'm tapping out.
Tapping out. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming by, and have a great day trading. So come join us if you can. All right, guys. Peace. Have a great day.
See you guys soon.
Later.